Have you started your collection yet? Now, if you sat here for all these hours looking at every one of these programs, then I would say, no, you haven't taken time to go outside and start your collection. Outside, remember? Your yard. That's where you begin. So get your collection started. You remember I talked about, write to a pen pal or get people to send you stuff? Well, this is just a little, these are great. This is a film can. You buy film, comes in these little plastic things. This is sulfur from a mine in Louisiana. This one is volcanic ash from Mount St. Helens, about 3 months after the eruption was over. That mountain had very little lava with it. It just simply blew off the whole side of the hill and pulverized everything to a fine powder. And so that's what I had there. Okay, Metamorphic. That's the family we're going to talk about now. And some of the unique rocks that we can also find with the Metamorphic family. Metamorphic, remember, meant change. Now, the most common metamorphic rock that every kid likes to have and get a hold of is quartz crystals. Now, quartz, every time it has a different color, it has a different name. Now, in this one here, see the blue? Isn't that neat? Okay. We have purple, to help you out in case you got black and white TV. Rose quartz, crystal quartz. It's a special quartz. Look at the lines going through it. It's called rutile. And we have smoky quartz. We have citron. And of course, back to our opal. So let's take a look at those words. These are all quartz family. And yet every one of these have different names. And is because of what? Remember, this is entitled Rocks and Minerals. So every time you add a different mineral to a rock, you can change its color. And if the mineral is hard to find, in other words, it's rare, they call that, not too much laying around, then it becomes quite expensive. And also how much color is in it and how much is not in it. So we got rose, smoky, quartz crystal, citron, and amethyst. And let's go back and look at this opal again, and then we'll change the words here for you. This opal, remember I talked about have somebody send you something? This is from Australia. Yeah, this was given to me by a student who went to Australia. Before he left, he says, Mr. What kind of rock would you like me to bring back? Well, Australian opal is a unique type opal because it's good quality opal, but it's got this blue color which is really nice. And you're asking, what is it doing here in this container? By the way, that's not water. See, it doesn't quite move like water? This is oil. Opal is quartz with water trapped in it. And when the light goes into the opal and goes through the water, it gives you the colors. If the light bends just gently, you get blue. If the light bends at a greater angle, you get reds. So if your opal is losing color, it is because of the fact the water has start to evaporate. So you need to keep your opals in oil. And by the way, that does not mean you take your opal jewelry and soak it in oil, because hopefully that particular material, opal, has been treated or coated. Alrighty. Would you like to go to Franklin, North Carolina? You would? Well, you have to go by yourself. I'm sorry, I don't give out plane tickets. No coupons. You've got to get up there. This is a special rock. Notice white, black, and an orange area. Notice we've lost our light, but that's all right. For true. Now, I have a black light, fluorescent light. Watch. Da-da, da-da. The light coming out of here is, see what the color it is? Kind of a purplish. But yet the rock itself is giving green and red. Ultraviolet light. You know what they do? They take this mineral out of the rock and they can make fluorescent paints out of them. That's it. Now I'm going to take the light away and let it be dark. See how things just go back to nothing? And as soon as the ultraviolet light gets near it, it becomes alive. Look at that white powder over here. It actually becomes blue. So what you need to do is go to Franklin, North Carolina. Willemite is another rock from that area. Now you surely don't want to carry a black light like Garfield would do on a 1,000-foot extension cord. What you're going to do is you learn what the rock looks like. That's what rock and mineral identification is all about. Then you go out and collect it. You bring it back to the campsite, motel, whatever. Then you throw the black light, shine it on it, and you're all set. Not all black lights work. That's a whole new story. But these little light bulbs you buy at local distributors to make your posters glow, read my lips, they don't work. No. You got to get a commercial quality, or go to a place that sells, as they say, black light. They can be fluorescent. They can be in a container like this, but there's all kinds of different types of black light that you can buy container-wise. So you need that. Now that's important because that adds a little neat thing to your collection. Another one I want you to talk about is right here. Notice I have it wrapped with a tissue or a paper towel between the two pieces. Remember, rocks of the same family scratch each other, so I had to keep it protected. This looks like a fried chicken leg. However, for those of you who live in the state of Texas, there you go, there's the state of Texas. If you know anyone who lives in the Tampa Bay, Florida area, ask them to send you a piece of this. This is called agatized coral. There is a crack in the bottom of Tampa Bay in which not calcite comes up, which is common in the Florida area, but happens to be quartz. And the quartz comes up through the bottom of that bay in Tampa Bay, and it got into the coral rock, and it gave it a very special rock. There's only two places in the world known to be found. One's in a little bay area in Russia, and this other place, of course, is Tampa Bay. Let's take a look at this rock again, because I want to show you what's so neat about it. The quartz got up into it. It's been sliced in half. Look. See the guts of the chicken? No, those are bubbles of quartz. Solid sand crystals. Crystals that formed. See if you can hear the sound. I'm sure you can. Let me do it this way. Sounds like your mother's dishes. That's a distinct sound of quartz. Reminds me of the idea where you find a quartz glass and you hit it, you know, bing, and you take a listen to it and you get that great sound. So that's quartz. Agatized coral. Now, the reason you want to get a hold of this, not because it looks good for your collection, but also it's becoming, well, extinct would not be a right word because that's for living plants and animals, but it's not abundant anymore. Tampa Bay has been dragged and dug and scuba dived and everything, and they got everything out of there to some extent. So it's very difficult to get any more agatized coral. A couple of years back, though, they did dig the channel deeper, they tell me, in that area, and that brought up more agatized coral. So that really helped a lot. If you know anyone who lays ceramic tile, if you want any rock cut open, that is the saw that will do it. Because you see, the saw that cuts ceramic tile has little diamond chips in it. Diamond, remember, hardness of 10? And that's how you cut a lot of these rocks open, because some of these rocks are 7 and 8 hardness. So a regular steel blade, remember the steel blade was what, 5.5 and a 6.5? That's not hard enough to cut a 7 and 8 rock. So you get a hold of these diamond wheels. Okay? So with the diamond wheels, they'll cut any rock you need. But let me tell you what this slate is really about. This slate is what we call the scratch test. See those scratches on there? Watch. It's leaving brown. That's brown. It's leaving kind of a nice black. And that's even blacker yet. You see, it's the scratch test, or the streak. See, streak. When you do that, it also is another way to identify the rocks. Isn't that neat? Now, do you remember George?